So based on a Twitter poll that only 3 people voted on, I don't know why it's only stayed up for less than a week, I'm going to be taking a look at a game that was part of my childhood. Since it's Star Wars Day at the time I'm making this, I'll be taking a look at Star Wars Battlefront 2, the one from 2005 that everybody loves. Except we're not going to be looking at the PS2 version here. We'll actually be looking at the PC version, because, it's basically the same game. Star Wars has been in a relatively rough spot for the past couple of years. Actually, inconsistency has been part of the franchise since the prequel trilogy, so Disney is actually par for the course. The same inconsistency can be said for all Star Wars games, especially during the LucasArts era. For every Knights of the Old Republic, there was Super Bombad Racing. For every Republic Commando, a Masters of Terras Kasi. Every Battlefront 2, a Battlefront 2. I never grew up with any of the older Star Wars games in my house. I was a big fan of Star Wars back in 3rd and 4th grade, and it just so happens that the entire first season of the phenomenal The Clone Wars animated series started during this time in my life. The Malevolence arc? Classic. So what did I think of Battlefront 2 when I played it on the PS2 for the first time? Looking back on those years, the PS2 seemed like a forbidden fruit of gaming. I could see it as a console for big boys, to which I was too young to play on them. When I first played the game, I remember being enthralled by this big boy game and how I thought I was old enough to play any game. I wasn't, of course, but this was my first taste of good old mid-2000s badassery. I'm going to keep this brief so it doesn't turn into a full-blown retrospective that takes several days to compile. I also don't want to turn this into a full-blown review because that's not what this video is about. I was initially planning to convert my review of Speed Racer the video game on Wii, but my capture card is dead and I can't extract the game ISO with my computer. Battlefront 2 comes from the time period in gaming where the power fantasy was big. Games like Halo 2 and even Burnout 3 Takedown wanted to make the player feel like a badass. While it does feel good to mow down legions of enemies, it comes at the cost of AI stupidity. It's better than the first game, but only slightly. The AI, both allied and hostile, often stand around like a bunch of mindless Gungans. On the topic of Gungans and Naboo, everyone and anyone who's played this game knows about the one corridor where the AI gets stuck. It's like they're crowding a restaurant for food when the restaurant closed 15 seconds ago. The game allows you to play as hero units such as Darth Maul, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Han Solo, and more if you perform well in a match. The hero units are absolutely unbalanced and can mow down a ton of enemies like a lawnmower to blades of grass. It's awesome when you get to use them, but it sucks if the enemy has their hero out. There's also a dedicated Heroes vs. Villains mode where everyone can play as a hero unit and it's good for a chuckle. It's mainly mindless button mashing though. The space battles are the real highlight of the game. You get to hop into a wide assortment of ships and do various things to pummel the enemy fleet. You can get in a nimble starfighter and engage in space dogfights. You can get in a bomber and destroy the capital ship from the outside. Or you can load up a dropship and strike it from the inside. I always used to rush into the enemy ship so I could dismantle it from the inside, but for some reason I can't really do that on the PC version. Maybe it's just because I suck at aiming on mouse and keyboard. I never really played the Rise of the Empire campaign, though. I do know about the good but melancholy voiceovers done by Temuera Morrison. In case you don't know, he did the voices for the clone troopers in the films, as well as performing as Jango Fett.
What I remember about the rise of the Empire is how quiet it was.
I'm not really looking into playing through the campaign in the future as it's not too deep and would probably highlight the issues of the idiot AI. What I will look into playing, though, is Galactic Conquest. Basically, it turns Battlefront 2 into a domination game similar to Risk. Build your fleets, conquer enemy planets, defend your own. Rinse and repeat until one side wins. I love this game mode because it allows me to tell my own stories similar to competent fanfiction. The last game of Galactic Conquest I played, my Empire suppressed much of the rebellion, but continued to be met with unrelenting resistance on the asteroid world of Polis Massa, as well as grenade spam up the wazoo. This caused sympathy to spread to nearby Utapau and led to its liberation, and many continued battles on the Mustafar system. But yeah, Star Wars Battlefront 2 is great. It's not perfect by any means, but for a movie licensed game, it's well above average. It sits there on the pantheon of good Star Wars games like Knights of the Old Republic and Republic Commando. I loved playing this game when I was younger, and I still love playing it now. Now, the original GameSpy servers were taken offline in 2014, but EA and Disney brought them back in 2017. I've kind of dreamed of running my own Battlefront 2 server. Now that I'm free from college, might be able to find some gaming community that might be able to pick up on the idea. It's also dirt cheap on digital storefronts, frequently going on sale for less than $10. I mean, sure, the PC version isn't really the best version, it's a bit buggy, but the mod support more than makes up for that. I'm not really gonna dabble with a lot of mods that overhaul the game, but I'll gladly recommend some quality of life mods that improve the user experience, since it's a game from 2005 trying to run on modern hardware. That goes about as well as you'd think it would. Now the real question is, do you want to see more of this game here on my channel? If you do, let me know in the comments section below. Until next time, this has been Squiddy the Kid. Thank you for watching, and may the 4th be with you. Okay. Who in God's name actually came up with that? Who thought it was a good idea?